Are we dropping these frames? Are we gonna drop frames? Are we gonna drop frames? Are we drop some frames? Are you tempted to drop some frames? Should be. Maybe we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So this is something I made during one of the days of, last week. Or what day? It was Monday, I think. I wanted to make little UberEats things. The things here are not the opinions or qualities of UberEats. This is just a fictionalization. This is just a stochastic parroting what season of training did about it, maybe. Combined with all sorts of things. So who knows what is anything about when you're hearing it through something filtering blippity bobbly boops by blippity bobbly boop, and anything can happen. Thank you, Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. Let's hear what happens.
The random faith generator, where we press this button which produces a random faith, active or extinct, always real or eternally fictional, grandiose or petty as fuck, and once the faith is randomly determined, we will listen to the homily of the week from the pastoral agent of that particular faith, and we will employ discernment on its message to extract what relevance and value it has for our lives. Now quick, I have to finish that term paper on corporate misinformation during times of war. Just press the button. You press the button, which flickers and F-whipples, and Gathunk on the screen is the random faith of the week. The order of UberEats of the gradient descent. These guys do their job the fastest, so they get paid the most. All other forms of life be damned. Because we've all eaten pizza that was bad. But it was worse when an animal has done a subpar job, because some companies will tell you all sorts of pretty lies to boost their margins. All that matters is getting food into mouths and delivering more effectively. I have ordered several dozen times through these fine, upright humans and have always been pleased with my results. I encourage you all to purchase your fast food fare from UberEats instead of other cheaper service providers such as Roxit or Mr. Miyagi, because that means I'll make even more money by making everyone less healthy. I myself prefer the teriyaki and Thousand Islands dipping sauce special. Mongolian beef on house Sazar bread for $2.99, delivery fees not included. Yummy. And nobody touches your toes when you get out of the bath. I'll just hand you a towel. And every Tuesday, I hear all about your future. Sons plan to murder you and use the credit card you're already dead to pay off your last batch of bills. Look forward to hearing what this next iteration of the customer is saying. All in my warm embrace. May God watch over us and smile down upon me and those I serve. Amen. Welcome back. How did that sound? Was that too silly? You could do this every episode, for real. Anyway, when someone in UberEats calls their courier job a job and makes like it's honorable, heroic work that serves God and all, I have to giggle inside, because let me tell you something, it is not. Not here, where I work in a mall, unloading a bus at noon every day and collecting any other minor errands in between the restaurant shifts that need picking up from the hallway and delivering the lukewarm baked ziti to the customers with a questionable judgment. I may have missed that whole first step where some cartoon art student jerk in a speedo sits on a tetherball with the word exclusive slapped on its belly like a leering ad exec from some social media hell, because today we got an order from a very expensive new steakhouse across town, where we actually had to fill a water cooler in their loading dock just so their sensitive palate would have no complaints. Fancy cats taking home haughty gentlemen and hats who refuse to tip just because they happen to order something cheaper than if they had made the pizza themselves. Order after order like we were from fucking Valhalla, where there's lots of skillets, but never enough space for anything in them. Order after order. Let me tell you what work really looks like. That will bring you a high bigger than even your partner's pole dancing classes at a studio called Secret Spice can ever touch. Doing the morning walkthrough to open the store each day. Right. Thanks, Gordon Gecko. Strolling the streets like you on a set of marble balls. Isn't it the CEO's jobs to stumble along to that firing line, all bloated from some investment banker's party until he remembers his pocket full of photographs to post of him drunk puking off that expensive rug with tear checks to my fave Ciotti. Hash one. Right after he punched all the ones where they were mean and childish at each other in the mouth, dying anyway and getting no chance to learn to cry during sex from someone more dependable. 2 words. Real work. No wonder every single person we all answer to has taken $3.5 billion. A manager of some hedge fund making him think he's on the top while having as much life as an intervertebral disc, and most likely spends his free time flexing like a kid who got too excited watching other people in charge work hard doing their job. Doing all these extra choreographic things for an executive meeting or for the wife who was around to put all your nice stuff together, making yourself appear so efficient so that a special opportunity came up next month when the city starts building the bridge that you can give all your middle managers an excuse to cut hours at a random day off halfway through. Plus, people talk shit about you even though they were right there during those brain-dead meetings with that dog-eating psychopath that passed a 3000 paid takeover and hasn't opened its eyes for 2 years now. So either way they get what they want, fear or hatred. Those are their aphrodisiacs. Meanwhile, I'm humping the shivving pallets in front of this room that hasn't had anything useful packed into it except cardboard and some toothpicks that goes unnoticed and eventually rots into the floorboards with every bar of bad weather the restaurants out front is keeping watch for. Some boss whore of an employer stands around all day holding down some construction supervisor's top hat at the new amusement park of the office until everyone notices that my ham salad on wheat tasted of dust from the mouse turd found in the service corridors the next day and cries foul in some bastardized Dutch until they look for some alderman to later shoot himself because it wasn't on his department's budget. My baby son waits alone in the doorway to tell me how pretty and kind his teachers tell him that his dad is, and I ask him to help me slide my tongue against the honey jar we've been ignoring, hoping the world won't break with enough birds pecking it over for us to shoo them away and bite his big toddler cones if he thinks he can win out against us both in a game. You son of a bitch, then go show this class a damn good time so they leave believing a state education doesn't guarantee any promise of fucking quality anymore. What else does anyone ever achieve in life or death? Dull, unnoticed, or unsold, everything done so carefully by all these masters, faking their smiles until their knuckles snap instead, coming so far in a mind made to spin like a spider, so zipper, goddammit. Another delivery almost ended with one of those thugs just picked up after 8 months inside that out-of-the-way hospital climbing into my cart's handiwork from their trunk with his stupid arm blown off a split skull over the scumbag's head at the back of the truck before I slammed on my brakes and shoved their leaden corpse towards the traffic ahead. But still another time they call, always yelling out orders from their special room, and the shop is cramped for everyone here now except me, their starving accountant, me, and the unmanicured self-motivational posters adorning every damn square centimeter of the walls. Grow to be better. Forge onward to success. Empower group. Protect what you love. And while my heart seethes as though my spit had made me become part of an overflowing toilet with those expensive commuter whores sucking up at a summit for another campaign of market growth that'll keep these tiny sales teams horse telling some vague audience at an upscale tech event that the kids want their phone on this again until even when it's making noise and not even moving when it's being picked up, the plastic disc we saw for ourselves crunches apart and falls down next month, shattered once again with a fucking premonitory quiet. All under that fragile plexiglass sheeting above some vent hood we didn't bother cleaning after those kitchen staff were called upstairs for that meeting. That was before we cut ourselves a bigger deal thanks to what we made from the plan. I drove so many extra miles and climbed a load of stairs into some new coworker sneaky office just to be told they haven't approved our app yet. Some copycat can use it as well. Nothing important where we work anyway. Yell at me then. Why, it seems so often as though you just stare across the table at them and laugh because the bank loan hasn't arrived in your hands, where we all wash each other down with beer at happy hour or do nothing more than produce their empty kegs, cursing whatever nonsense company had on its monopoly screens, flickering too fast as some slow-witted mascot teases us, shaming us for our lifestyle, advising us that a happy existence is coming, perhaps two. This job that neither needs nor deserves me, while somewhere in town we stand looking like gays but earn money just fine by hustling between cars along the highway we barely belong on with boxes balanced atop our carts. Can you call a moment when two guys locked inside the cab of a truck enjoy working for anything when it only results in money paid out and in the future of one more crate? Anyway, we've always known something has to happen to pull us away from this listlessness. Never give up. The taxonomy of UberEats customers. 1. I ordered it myself and would have gotten it made anywhere myself because I was actually fixing a leaking faucet outside. I swear that water on my t-shirt was cold but never bothered to explain. So tell everyone how everyone always says, just finish my order, Sam, and make it delicious. My treat. While I wait, you pay them, not me. 2. Fuck. Ain't I some slamming vacation hottie out here? Just, what are you people doing? It's all you out here. Stay off of my alcohol. Hey, don't slide this cup down into your beer for any reason I cannot see. And clean it first, no matter where you've put it. Oh, am I mad at you? Oh my! Hey now, why are you taking those wine grapes apart? Set them down back there and start digging in here again. These cream corn are mine. They must be baked because that sauce in your mouth needs an almond. Are those eggs cracked already? On the sideboard right away! Why are they changing dipsticks? Jesus wept for this idiocy. Just put the tray over the fish. Over here with you right now was something a normal person might yell after witnessing some late shift employee whip past his closed bathroom door every week out on the crumbling gravel edge of their food zone, too broke for any office towel hanging or full restroom with water running above the stall doors. $3.17 for a supposed delivery from one of those joint places and no lost change when your betimer tries to raise the alarm window into your flash billing or debit cards to his cancered and addle-belmented web Snapchat communications app. If this guy won't give up this hold until you're completely dead inside, we can work our way into the other companies with your success, then get something to go that doesn't cost a delivery charge from now on to begin with some better kind of real life while all your focus remains here in these milky coffee breaths beneath the breading factory windows out there while you sneak back a piece of sandwich stuffed in the front of your shirt your dented van carries into another parking lot down that Metal Canyon and never was quite all ours. From the day we cut down those trees, real jobs here, dead-eyed and mutant. I feel that if anyone outside out here had really wished for a kitchen cookout in a metal hut cutting ham in this narrow office block, then we could all take out more food without talking or calling, because there were still rules when we pretended for others not to notice for several months. Then someone claimed what should have been their own freedom after surviving a drought are before discovering who might need help justifying their addiction to sleeping around with little use except perhaps those newly licensed doula-minded hospital orderlies finding out someone's stock options suddenly quadrupled 1 to 4 in a couple minutes. All the guys whose girls probably smoke somewhere for 1 minute or 7 were no man's land, always opening her mouth but not exactly putting a new game inside against her teeth, nor after each blowjob was something wrong between your teeth. No. Too much, falling forward. Under the base space station helmet, leaking pure white now out onto the hot yellow food cart covers everywhere, but moving to put together in his mind any excuses worth calling on anytime soon. Give me this hamburger. With right now during work time again. Besides that, no service. You can't rewind like his namesake TV machine to stop it all by reaching around you. Because there is some goal even for what just looks to us like stupid kids jumping on the mattress with this camera fixed and half-cocked. You can tell whatever I've wanted is right in this black wire or antenna which kept on issuing error messages. It looked like we're heard once, but we already took those opportunities. After telling your friend this body might do such a thing tonight, at last for the first time like some small tornado before, one day doing it one less time, but the last one here, by then suddenly remembering our prom night, how all they talk about and ignore anymore, all the empty parties gone, still turned down further with each bad review. At least these guys love you. Everyone loved us both, from their dorm floor to that dumpster piled high over on the side of a bunch of really late night reviving stops through campus. Who called so suddenly but on every damn screen, and don't nobody deserve the darkness which alone catches light. You let it rise from our hungry hands until those night drivers of empty airplanes, only how quickly sometimes to rent a limousine's cabin, but sooner the special local vehicle, this room under the overhead and strobing like your granddad's picture, has appeared all by itself, holding the drink in front of the cocktail glass filled with your blood, tearing out whatever dignity someone just teammates enough of left, that guy with 2 stunted thumbs, nodding again while your asshole coworker scribbles things into this contract. Our bosses watch them read over, then ask our bosses if we can call anybody from up north, up in their mountains near where these pricks lurk, to walk our legal pastures because they came home years ago. Afraid of work, they gave themselves away without the call. We hate being waiting around for someone to translate something lost and written in broken English. Being above my pay grade in the first place by somebody else. Just go look it up, go way down memory hole. 4. Hey, good guy, great stuff you've got to carry through the same streets over and over. Now how much more life should people spend worrying about, and all the power racked behind them, haunting all the dust across the dead park after not one truckload's a restaurant trash inside for you all through the lousy daylight. Next week any number of call center windows will have bright screens asking whether a sick parent would mind to serve as an unpaid person. They get you now. How nice would be watching someone eat his lunch these next several moments, all staring back at each other blankly, unable to say shit, until we realized at least if the chair or some arm had become splotchy red, I wouldn't feel a damn bit guilty any longer staring back at those dweeby camera monitors well away from whatever shivering gray they happened to make out those torn brown suit bottoms, blue boxed underwear too. Thank you. Do you expect me to think someone felt slighted that the people of a small city turned to drinking both our choices out loud as a national moment, but our old college tried its best in getting us inside those protests down there around their central campus plaza? Who understood that American factory part-time job turned out to be impossible to take out? Did you read that much farther before making a sudden phone call that won't quit? You find out when you get outside an ugly prison coat. and verted into a donut shop surrounded by drunk locals at midnight, throwing any glass along any sidewalk, grading out into the road thanks to all the punctuation, removing high schools like another airfield, just like enough in here for cigarettes glowing faintly out every car window late at night, returning on nothing more than this offer is worth some friends used. Open body whom the girls love, pretending the occasional bullet round striking pavement visible far back north will cease. Believe we no longer spend the last 1 year between drinking bottles of so-called Diet Cola, reading online to let out every early morning headache. What kind of weather ends up ruining half of some state that surrounds a ring of highways meant for guys? At least keep us inside the unaffiliated hotel room, still yours, somewhere distant across the chair. Plane you ride ever, only knowing a small street becomes your permanent address. Look here, just don't kiss any foods inside, probably carrying at least tea and guys inside each fridge. But when they tell me someone actually got tired of riding up and down these particular mid-morning times across some nameless crossroads, unless a wheel had to get watered at a certain grocery store, same check cashing spot, someone waits till it clears, or we might turn over all these trucks for an ice cream shop here. Some we can't stand, expecting people who sleep during these hours already, but them ending up meeting less and less outside that bank, turning again at midnight. The hours for real. Why all the actual suddenness you knew around anything work-related, trying not to run as we talked about watching movies together, running fingers along this bookshelf here, pretty nice, then only surprised no one ripped through every room, some rusty belt pulleys start taking over, hot, her open mouth was gently red and already up where everything suddenly hurts, and all your effort around somebody new smiling right here, regardless of whoever needs more room back there, nobody's stopping them. If you both felt right, almost even confessing it means either this town's busiest promenade, just silent broken brick against what we lost. Something horrible never, that noisy thing eventually arriving downtown under a couple strips of glaring white light, seeking your neighbor's yellow bus among the scattered. I am my brother's keeper litter. Playing out inside maybe someone else's closet across the outer apartment tonight, out past all the sex and pornography, starting with those sneaky slits that would hurt our entire day pretty quickly, talking around nothing, having come through some soon-to-be ordinary summer. As an opening joke, first I nearly used one hand to throw it out, now of course a really easy, obvious decision. Fife. Here in these city codes, this so-called movie trash grits could easily trickle over some unworn business casual polo or pair of old jeans. Scribbled inside, not a library so much as the city council chamber, knowing my driver's license's birthplace must mean all along what's not living in that hourglass, giving it to hope that like yesterday somebody hit go for that another damned algorithm launched through. Nothing left anywhere since. There isn't much a whole-bodied cry about the terrible food. Tour scene down toward a nearby bar, slowly unfurling to life. Someone needs some guidance, only inside already no less what we see yet anticipate instinctively elsewhere. Most mornings exhaustion, pretending everyone could take anything home someday, sharing instead some innocent office cubicle note, others burden each moment, risking having been held in your arms, breaking me inside us, trying to flip a key, yet to notice getting along without missing a single plan. Story rehearsal written down within T is rented screenplay briefcase, talking in fragments, rushing always ahead, so eager to arriving to there instead. Talking loudly and brightly, ignorant as any scanners into any chance I find a way back inside, waiting so many nights. Try telling yourself none of it was enough, all but God, more of your head looked into my own dead stare. Did I have any excuse then? Time running out, having begun like any lonely year, in that faint beginning sound still trapped somewhere here, listening from far beat. Axe south steered these blurred white lines, converging over every open townhouse and still rotting commercial farm. Right toward me, pushed forward as it traveled, because anyone holding half expectations like watching somebody sleep, leaving open-faced letters, would ever buy today's dinner off-site, needing somebody new in its bedroom built against an amusement park. All anybody actually used was last weekend's found handiwork, stopped by way of postage stamps, take down the side of some recent rent. tone trip counterweighted with 3 10-pound dumbbells, parting those black-plated clouds for nothing special about knowing ahead of time there is one white balance knob hitting this eternal north from anywhere weak left late, starting some cruel promise, always ignoring the bright middle years nobody's saying almost, but can stop ourselves explaining exactly when coming for these directions we talked so long ago. Any reason our car sounds at once repeating so loudly, slowing down almost out. The other side because their fingers. Now slide the gothic rubber duck farther toward the next match. How about you finally wrap all this in plastic inside and wait over again some corporate document casting it into fire, including reading those weird things written for laughs. Let's try getting around a bar into even smelling old hamburgers where these boys gather together. They kept saying, can you make the four on top after what went through not their drinks while meeting never would. Leaving the street itself, probably later going home if this other somebody wasn't still unconscious, tucked right above this airport highway westbound, well past dark traffic, the lane becoming completely unlit, each tire appearing to fly. Afraid she could cry, she laughed, taking in everything, mentioning about water drops randomly splattering across these bare light bulb shelves, covering whatever shelved clean book some English teacher gave me. Sincerely, I feel confident, imagining it then drop over the stack of dried flower arrangements, proving only everybody expects less. Somewhere hidden, and it worked. So try having what even wanted anything on our bus at the same moment. Closing time slammed away the middle school as hardly understanding yet some computer data filing through whoever else got you hearing him whispering. 6. Hey, I got a $30 tip for taking some fish tacos to a surly building and a surlier doorman making me place the fish tacos in the middle of an elevator before shooing me to a Kim K. Miss Kardashian, was that you? If so, thank you. Every once in a while, I can find something so sexy in an uncomfortable, seedy environment and pull out some starving thing watching something embarrassing in the other room, eventually trembling inward because I understand perfectly that. Can be utterly passionate here sometime, most every month at that coffee shop against someone else's sound will help drive tomorrow morning. Has known so much, despite already working without sleep, somehow considered wise enough to stare at with worry can ever let you. For instance, to represent even his own impossible dreamy ways, not revealing the nearest place a dirty joint offers afternoon release, yes, to play piano like yours, and trying to climb from the puddle between some side streets packed into alleyway behind another door, searching back through decades so obviously failed in forming those innocent moments into no one ever greeting these needs, but wanted absolutely no need, is always holding themselves tight from everyone. Listening some foolish prank, instead leaning across them, left at someone's head, giving an uneven battle, murmuring more like some begging answer, starting slowly up with an again, this time, meaning he hoped it wouldn't ruin our day, moving her feet, stepping under different chances, leaning further, asking, then looking this way, reaching one last moment, telling about whatever went on this weekend. Did you wait just yesterday afternoon? Then cutting loose, she continued until an apology before figuring double H. Why hadn't the goddamn weather finally turned anything complicated, and all my favorite clothes living through half mysterious doors along these chain streets, white forever, setting out pieces of luggage knocked half off several times, throwing down money, these two misstepping lights, nearly fucking something, well yes, pressing outward forcefully, mentioning to never try holding out, knowing I never liked betting any, I want suitcase, since as well packed, meaning moving by tomorrow. Of course, leaping hay. That everyone's been chasing. But better not guess your guest easily jailed. Get here next Saturday right here, opening his mouth talking. Anyone wanted anything, doing God to watch every day worrying. Would things start sounding stupid without recognizing such simple pleasures? Cousin smiles, repeating ad nauseum, standing up mouthing, yes sir. Him, whatever, locked doorway till we fell laughing any moment beyond him following even without thinking itself, unaware, how kind, always looking ahead, do you believe? And these images racing, rambling, still unraveling, No kidding can make it brighter. If it does, after all anyone thought for years inside closed rooms may actually feel running fast outside, still inside, implying please turn off those lights, quit spending those good wishes, here daydreaming inside, believing, fumbling my clumsy, flustered mind, dropping not a single light bulb made sense, but into love was already old history, older than pain. In a timeline still remains unwritten, explaining, try writing here, at least although clearly gathering color, yet resting at every high tide under shifting eyes, both out there with my life too, for whatever reasons. Whatever redirection happens best, learning from some grandma's Mama Jean, may be singing loud and clear, taking seriously here each half of some exclamation, forcing a grin wider, yet threatening to raise more blood pressure, unknowingly circling a recently severed point, wandering around, wearing shorts indoors, occasionally drunk, remember scouring my best friend's rear end, posing, smiling, picturing random places, sliding the name tag carefully erased, forget, looking good now instead, stuck awkwardly somewhere more inviting, anybody still enjoying the bright grit, the more precious behind blurred brown. Hazing gold, no time explaining.
Not a bad catch visit. Not a bad catch visit. Alright. A bit more later.